What's up, gamers? This is Artist69 at geekplanet.com. This is my Sega Saturn collection. My first game in my collection is going to be Black Fire. This is a simulation game. The game was pretty good. It wasn't the best simulation game that I have on my Saturn, but it was a pretty good game. The second game is going to be X-Men. Iron Man in Heavy Metal. This is a side-scrolling game. Pretty difficult game. It's a nice game. I really enjoyed it, but it's quite difficult, but it's a very good game. The next game in my collection is going to be Fighting Vipers. This is a Street Fighter type game. Didn't get that much fanfare, but graphically at the time, it was a pretty good game. The next game in my collection is going to be Cricon. It's another Street Fighter side fighting game. It was an okay game. Nothing to jump up and for joy about, but it's somewhat of a decent game, but it wasn't the best. Next one is Battle Monsters, another side fighting game. Was not a good game. Was kind of disappointed in the fighting style, especially from an acclaimed game. The next game on my list is going to be Soviet Strike. This is probably my favorite Sega Saturn game. The Soviet Strike helicopter games, though it was very good. A Nuclear Strike. All those games, I really enjoyed those games. I still play them over and over again. So this is probably my favorite Sega Saturn game. My next game is going to be Black Dawn. This is a first-person shooting game. It was I really enjoyed the game. It's got a good difficulty level. And so it was a very good game. I was very impressed with the shooting style in the game. The next game is probably a hidden gem in the Sega Saturn list of games. Machine Head. Surprisingly, it was a very good game. So I was very surprised in the playability of the game. The next one is going to be Mortal Kombat 2. Very good Mortal Kombat game, which is most of the Mortal Kombat games are very good. It was very impressive, very good graphically for a game at this time during the Sega Saturn lifetime. So I really enjoyed this Mortal Kombat game. The next one is going to be Panzer Dragon. This is probably my second best, second to Soviet Strike in my Sega Saturn collection. Panzer Dragon was a very good game. I'm looking for a part 2 to this game, but this was a very good game. The next game is going to be College Slam by Acclaim. It was an okay game. It was pretty good. It's similar to NBA Jams, and so it was by it being similar to that game, I enjoyed it. It's a very playable game. Next game is going to be Madden 97. At the time, this was a very good graphically well put game. I'm a very big, at the time was a very big Madden player. I'm not a real big Madden guy now because the games are so repetitive now. They basically stick a date on it and spit out most of the similar type of games. So that at this time I was a big Madden player, and I really enjoyed this Madden 1997. FIFA 98. This is probably my third best a game on the Sega Saturn. I really enjoy the FIFA games, the soccer games. They're very challenging, and this one was a very good graphically done game. My next game on my list is going to be Robotica. This game is I'm gonna say it's okay. It's from Acclaim, but it's a front shooting, first person shooting game, and it was pretty good for its time. My next game is going to be Area 51. This was a very impressive game at the time of the Saturn lifespan, and it's a first-person shooter. You can use the light gun and those type of weapons for this game, but this game was a very good game. I recommend this game if you can find it. Area 51. The next one is going to be Solar Eclipse. I haven't finished this game because this game is rather difficult. As you progress through the game becomes more difficult, and so it's a very good game, very graphically done, very good artwork, and so this game is even though it's difficult, I will recommend this game to anybody. The next one is going to be Gen War. Gen War is a surprisingly good game on the Sega Saturn. It is a somewhat of it's in the style. I can compare it to the new Lost Space 3 in that style of play, because you're inside of a mech, whereby you are killing these different bugs. But it was a very good game to play. The next one on my collection is going to be Madden 98. Like I said about the Madden games, they are repetitive, but at this time they were making leaps and bounds in graphic design in the games and presentation. The presentation got better and better as the years went by in the Maddens. So this Madden 98 was a very good game also. The next one is going to be Street Fighter, the movie, based off the movie. How can I say it? It was a disappointing Street Fighter game, because they used the real likeness of the characters in the movie, and they were kind of choppy. It wasn't a total loss of a game, but it was probably the least best Street Fighter game that was made. The next game is going to be NHL 97. Like I said in my last video with my Sega CD collection, I love the NHL games, surprisingly, because I don't watch NHL, and I'm not a real big NHL fan in the real sport. But in the video games, I enjoy the NHL games. The next game is going to be NBA Live 97. NBA Live were big time at the time, and this was one of the first leaps and bounds in graphics. in the NBA Live franchise. It has surround view, a look down view on the court. So it was a very good game for its time. This game I really enjoyed it also. The next one is going to be Street Fighter Alpha. This is a good Street Fighter game. It surprisingly was a very good game during the Sega Saturn lifespan. So this Street Fighter, unlike the last Street Fighter that I shown you, was a very entertaining game. The next one is going to be Galaga Attack. This is a very good front-scrolling game. This game is basically off the arcade type game, and it was a it gets difficult as you go along, and so I was very pleased with this game. So this is one of my favorites also. The next one is going to be Die Hard Arcade. This is probably in my top 5 also of one of my favorite games. This is one of the best games to me on the Sega Saturn system. It gets a little difficult as it goes along, but it's not terribly difficult. But this is a very good game for the Sega Saturn. And the last game on my list is going to be Shinobi Legends. The Shinobi game is, as you know, a lot of the Shinobi games were pretty difficult also. And I really enjoyed this game. This is one of my favorite also on the Sega Saturn. So these were my games on my Sega Saturn list. I do have the combo games that came with the system, and that was a Daytona racing game and the virtual cop and a virtual fighter. So those were the 3 games that came with the system. But this is my Sega Saturn list. All right, gamers. Don't forget to like this video on the lower part of the video, and subscribe to my channel. I will have more videos as time goes on. All right, gamers. So long.